and let us all do we can to build a better future.
Them were recently on the Jimmy Dore show, and I love seeing it. I encourage everyone to see their full interview, but this is just only a minute segment clip in regards to the reaction that the whole world is having towards the horrific bombings that are taking place in Gaza and the overall fact that our politicians here seem to have a problem of speaking out. Now, to be fair, there is only maybe a handful of politicians that are calling for a ceasefire. And for that, I congratulate them. A broken clock can be right twice a day. Boy, our standards have fallen terribly. But before we pull up that video, let's talk about why people are getting upset. We are being killed here. Please do something. Nurses and doctors plead for Gaza ceasefire. And yes, this is from, again, Common Dreams. This is written by Jake Johnson. Doctors and nurses in the Gaza Strip issued urgent pleas for a ceasefire as Israeli forces encircle and attack the territory's largest hospital, trapping thousands of displaced people and threatening the lives of medical workers and patients. One Doctors Without Borders nurse texted his colleagues from the basement of Al Sharif Hospital early Saturday, writing that 4 or 5 families, including his own, were sheltered there amid heavy bombardment and fighting around the facility. We are being killed here. Please do something, the nurse wrote. The shelling is so close, my kids are crying and screaming in fear. We have to be better. We are all going to stand alone. The attacks on and around Al Sharif, as well as the Israeli siege, which has cut off electricity supply and prevented fuel from reaching the northern part of the enclave, have caused power outages at the hospital, endangering babies and other patients who are unable to evacuate. Al Sharif's director said that two premature babies have died due to outages at the hospital's intensive care unit and pediatric ward. Mohammed Obed, a Doctor Without Borders surgeon at Al Sharif, said 4 patients in the hospital were wounded by sniper fire on Saturday, and those who have tried to flee have been shot at and bombed. There is no electricity. Actually, there's no water. There's no food. Our team's exhausted. We are nearly sure that we are alone now. No one hears us. Other hospitals, apologies for that stutter. Other hospitals in northern Gaza, including Al-Quds, have been forced to shut down completely due to lack of fuel and other critical supplies. Across the Strip, the majority of hospitals have ceased functioning. The Palestinian Red Crescent Society said Saturday that repeated appeals for urgent international assistance at Al-Quds has been unsuccessful, leaving the hospital to fend for itself under ongoing Israeli bombardment, posing severe risks to medical staff, patients, and displaced civilians. Nearly 200 medics have been killed by Israeli bombing in Gaza since October 7th. Okay. Israel's bombing has killed more than 4,500 children since it began last month, following a deadly Hamas-led attack. Targeting hospitals is a war crime under international law. Israel claims Hamas runs operations from inside under Gaza hospitals, an assertion that directors of the facilities have denied. Last week, an IDF spokesperson said that if we see Hamas terrorists firing from hospitals, we'll do what we need to do. So let's pull up this minute and a half clip from Dissidence and Jimmy Dore. Let's play it.
Do you think this really will turn the world's opinion in a way that has a material effect on Israel?
Yes.
And you do. And what do you think the repercussions of this for Israel will be?
People who are normally reliably deep down in their bone shit libs, I see posting Free Palestine. I've never seen anything like this. They're projecting that the people who feel pro-Palestine are a very small vocal minority. No. The people who do not see that Israel is an apartheid state committing a war crime is a very small minority. It is unfortunately a small minority that is in control of governments. They have a lot of institutional power, but they do not represent the general point of view. And when you have this kind of mass uprising, where you have everyone from reliably woke students at Harvard to football fans in Scotland against the orders of the league, protesting in favor of Palestine in the middle, when you've lost the whole world like that, you just cannot maintain this policy anymore. I think the United States is between a rock and a hard place. We will probably continue to fund it. You're going to see the idea of boycotting Israel and sanctioning Israel, as I believe it's someone in the Belgian parliament just advocated. It's time to sanction Israel. It's at the level now we have to sanction Israel. I think you're going to see them get economically isolated by countries that are not the United States and are not vassals of the United States.
So what can we take away from this? What can we learn from this? Well, first of all, the words said by Kurt and Russell are very true, and they do resonate, especially in regards towards what is happening and the response by the international community. And the fact that you're seeing so many people in the streets right now, as we speak, as we see so many people in the streets, and I want to pull up this video here because, and look, everything on social media, it's important to know that there's always perception drives reality, but we are seeing so many people out there screaming from the rooftops, demanding, calling for a ceasefire, and the fact that politicians are being challenged. I want to pull up this video here of none other than President Biden at his Delaware home is being called out by activists and organizers. So let's pull up this video here because voters are enraged at what they are seeing. People in general are enraged at what they're seeing. So let's play it.
One mic.
Mic check, mic check, mic check. Mic check.
In November, we remember.
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 Ceasefire, no votes.
No ceasefire, no votes.
No ceasefire, no votes.
No ceasefire, no votes.
No ceasefire, no votes.
But it's not just even in front of the president's house in Delaware. This is worldwide. I want to pull up a video here. Unfortunately, I will not be able to play the music in here, probably due to, obviously copyright. But I do want to play it because this is happening worldwide. It's not, and by the way, I want to give credit to this person who posted this, Shauna Burley. I don't think this is going the way they wanted, being the politicians, because the whole world is speaking out. The whole world is speaking out. And this video is just a short montage about every place that this is happening in major metropolitan cities. We are seeing this all over the world, from countries such as Indonesia. We're witnessing here. We are seeing it happen here in the United States. People protesting in the streets. We're seeing people who happening in Cairo, Baghdad, Istanbul, Toronto. Apologies. All of these cities are flying by so fast, but we are seeing people protest. We are seeing people protest in Congress. We are seeing people call for a ceasefire. Enough people have died. Maybe it's a controversial statement, but I don't know. Is it not impossible for a ceasefire? Can we not have a ceasefire? Is it something that can be achieved? I believe it can be achieved. We have to remember that we need to be better. And the words that Dissidence and Jimmy Dore shared on their show, being guests on the Jimmy Dore show, it is abundantly clear, and it is abundantly clear that peace must be achieved at any and all costs, because the more we sit idly by, the death toll keeps on rising up. And unfortunately, what's going to happen is this is laying the foundations as the crisis still continues for the next conflict. There have been numerous chances for peace, for maybe a solution. But if we don't make the effort to change the way things are, it's going to get worse. But these politicians and corporate media are realizing that they're losing the narrative. The system is not working the way it's supposed to be working because people are fed up, and righteously so. enough. There must be a ceasefire.